Yo, what's crack-a-lackin' all my crypto nights? We are now knee-deep into the Halloween season, and I thought now would be the perfect time to start really going through some totally awesome comic book reviews that reflect the Halloween season. I recently found this little gem in the 50-cent back issue bins at my local comic shop. This is Nightstalkers, issue number 1, still in the poly bag. Yes, baby, yes, still in the poly bag. This is, for those of you who don't know, the team that Blade was part of. Yes, Wesley Snipes' Blade. That Blade, the Marvel Comics Blade, was part of Team Nightstalkers. And I'm excited to cut this bad boy open and see what kind of special gifts came wrapped inside this poly bag. And then I'm going to read it, and we're going to review it. And hopefully you will like it. So let's find out. First things first, you take out your trusty Legends of the Lone Wolf knife. For those of you who don't know, Legends of the Lone Wolf is still available. We keep hitting stretch goals. We keep adding new stories to the book. We anticipated delivering a 90-page book in October, but that page count has now grown to roughly 120 pages. So we've gone a month past our estimated delivery date, but that's so we can deliver more content. So for those of you who haven't, you still have an opportunity to pick up Legends of the Lone Wolf with a 38-page story written by yours truly and drawn by my main man in Malaysia, Mior Munir. So let's use our Lone Wolf knife to cut into this poly bag, if it will. Might have been better to use scissors. We'll just slip that little guy in there. There we go. Give a little one that way. There we go. And now it's important, kids, that you always practice safety. Put that Lone Wolf knife away. So, let's see what's going on in here, shall we? What secrets lie within this glorious polybagged comic? I mean, this thing's been sitting in a polybag for, like 25 years. Okay. This is The Rise of the Midnight Suns, part 5 of 6. I have complained about this before in Turok Dinosaur Hunter number 1, where it was so bogged down with other characters that we had no introduction to, that it ended up being a big miss for me as a new reader. That was Turok Dinosaur Hunter number 1 from Valiant. This being part 5 of 6 of a crossover, again, also somewhat disappointing. Because who knows what the heck is going on inside this thing. Let's just take a look real quick. Let's just a little tease here. Well, we'll read this, in a little bit. Oh, we got Ghost Riders in here. This is from November of 1992. So we're talking about a 27-year-old comic book that was still in this glorious polybag. What do we get here? Ooh, we got a little poster. Look at that. There you go. Yeah, I would have rather had a trading card or something. A poster. Use that polybag just for this poster. It means nothing to me. It is by Andy and Adam Kubert, though. That's cool. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to go read this comic book and see if it's worth a damn, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about it. This is a perfect opportunity for you to pick up your smartphone and thumb your way over to megawattcomic.com and support your boy Crypto through his journey into the publishing of independent comic books. I write them myself. I got to hire somebody to draw them, though. That's what really is the hindrance here. I wish I could just do an Indiegogo campaign for like $1,500. Unfortunately, artists cost money. I write for free on my own stuff. I write for real cheap. That's the way I like to do it, just to get content out there, to get more credits to my name. But, some artists who are full-time artists, like my good friend Josh Spencer in Sydney, Australia, he can literally draw my comic Megawatt all day. I mean, he can spend 8 to 10 hours drawing pages for all of us beautiful people. It's just he's got to pay the rent. So I can lock him to a table and keep him drawing. It just takes a little bit of money. And hopefully all you beautiful people out there appreciate what your boy Crypto does here each and every day on Crypto Comics. And you will see fit to throw 20 some odd dollars our way. So we can provide you with an awesome comic that's signed with your name printed in the back. You can even be a vampire, like my boy Blade, in Megawatt versus the Vampires of the Sun. In fact, check this out right here. And we're back! It's time to get into this issue of Nightstalkers #1, Rise of the Midnight Suns. Believe it or not, I expressed some reservations in how this is part of a 6-issue crossover. I had a sinking feeling in my chest that this was going to be a terrible waste of time. At the beginning of the video, I complained about how Turok issue #1 was so bogged down with backstory from the Valiant universe that really you couldn't make heads or tails of it if you were a new reader and had not previously read the Unity crossover from Valiant. And I had this sinking feeling in my chest that Rise of the Midnight Suns was going to be the same way. Nightstalkers #1 was going to be a terrible waste of time. It turns out that the exact opposite is true. Marvel did it right with Nightstalkers issue #1. This comic book was phenomenally well written. D.G. Chichester wrote an amazing story here. Much love to you for this phenomenal comic book. Man, I can't believe how good this was. So part 1 was Ghost Rider #28. Part 2 was Spirits of Vengeance #1, which was Ghost Rider and Johnny Blaze teamed up. Part 3, Morbius #1. Part 4, Darkhold #1. I don't even know what Darkhold is. Nightstalkers #1, obviously part 5. And then this would be concluded in Ghost Rider #31. For eons, the walls between our Earth and the supernatural realms have held fast until now. Now those walls are weakening, and Lilith, Queen of Evil, Mother of Demons, has risen from her slumber to shatter the walls and free her hellish spawn. Only the strangest of alliances can drive her back, a union of old enemies and new heroes, in a battle forever to be remembered as the Rise of the Midnight Suns. I have this comic that you would send away for with a wrapper from any Charleston Chew and 50 cents. I wish I had all 4. I didn't know there were 4 of them. I only got the 1. Anyway. Breaking the grim stillness of the witching hour, desperate heels clatter across blacktop in a mad dash to escape. Closing the pursuit, primal engines roar with hellish fury. No wonder they call it the dead of night. I still say we toast her. A quick and merciful end for a Lilin who has committed such foul deeds in the name of a demon queen. No, Johnny Blaze. Oh, Mother Lilith, spare me this torment. Bring your wrath down on this hated Ghost Rider who would do both me and you harm. Nakoda must be made to see how her actions have caused innocents to bleed. She must face their suffering in the penance stare. Eye sockets flare cold bright in the skull, lighting the way to an abyss of purgatory. The Lilin's own once human orbs respond, swelling with the visionary boon of her supernatural rebirth mother, seeing what was, what is, and what will be. Talk to me, Ghost Rider. What's it look like in there? Fragments of the vision once more. The one that has set us on this quest, the witch Lilith and her demonic children, closing in on 3 men in the city of Boston. Intense guy with a knife, moody one with some fangs, and playboy type with an attitude? The same, Blaze, yet I sense somehow more. Who are they? Blade, Hannibal King, Frank Drake. They were vampire hunters. Now they are either allies or enemies. There can be no in-between in this war against the sorceress. You'll all pay! Johnny Blaze just smacks her into this cash register, I guess. Thwack, ka-ching. No sale. They were good men, Ryder, back when. Nothing to say that's changed. No way of knowing yet just what part they play with Lilith. We should ride up there with open minds. We ride as spirits of vengeance. Yeah, that and every highway patrolman's worst nightmare. Nightmares. Everybody has them. Frank Drake's are just a bit different than most. His darkest occurring in the waking hours, demanding to be believed and relived. Discovering a bloodline to a monster called Dracula, unleashing it on an unsuspecting world. Frank? Frank, you there? Enduring through infernal years to destroy what he'd accidentally set loose. Earth to Frank, New England Aquarium, pretty wife, day off together to look at the pretty fishies? Any of this ringing any bells? Oh, sorry, hon. Surviving, only to still be haunted long after by the things he'd been forced to do, of what he'd let himself become. Just things on my mind is all, Marlene. Things? One thing in particular, if I know you, and tortured by the fear. It's over, Frank. It's been over. You did your part. You kissed off the occult, and good riddance. Instead of the unnatural, try focusing on the natural, the good things about life. You're one of those good things, Marlene, for me. And you're right. Tell me something I don't know. Look at this one. Look at how graceful the dreaded fear. Something's wrong. Oh my God. That it hadn't ended. Get someone to... Inside it, there's something inside. It would never end. Never end, never end. It's never going to... And the day would come when the night would claim Frank Drake once more as its own. And Lilith just basically bursts right out of the side of this friggin' dolphin. And here we see these Marvel Masterpieces. These are beautiful cards. We have reviewed this previously here on Crypto Comics. You can check out the original Marvel Masterpieces review. Holy, what am I seeing? What am I thinking I'm seeing? Look, hon, I don't mean to put a damper on the day, but I just don't think I'm into this. I mean, if you knew what I thought was happening to that whale, you'd... It's all right, ladies and gentlemen. Little Moby's just fine. Our divers have everything under control. Marlene? Marlene, answer me. Well, what's the problem, mister? I don't know. My wife, she's some kind of seizure. Marlene! We're here to help, sir. It's going to be okay. Okay. So little to ask. Too much to hope for? The question hangs heavy in the air. More than rhetorical. Brimming with an arcane potential that is the stock in trade of a wizard named Stephen Strange, standing a lonely vigil whose concerns extend past Francis Drake, or any one man, instead considering the well-being of an entire dimension. Saturnine eyes narrow, searching out an answer on what the mage knows to be a rapidly darkening horizon. It was near Halloween, and we let some of the patients... It was meant to be an innocent costume party. Is anything truly innocent, Director Wright, Grigg? And just what do you mean by, never mind, I don't want to know? I take it Blade wasn't interested in the festivities? Blade was never interested in much of anything, except something seemed to have caught his eye, Director. Yes, candy corn fangs and a paper tablecloth cape. That's all it took to wipe out any progress in his treatment and trigger his phobia. A dozen orderlies were needed to keep him from driving a wooden stake through that boy's heart. Blade put 7 of them in the hospital. 2 never came back out. Impressive, if it wasn't so antisocial. I'm fast-forwarding to another section. We tried different therapies, of course, but none have broken him of the central delusion that his mother was killed in childbirth by a vampire named Deacon Frost, and that Blade himself was tainted by the bite. Precisely the reason for a new treatment, Director Wright, Grigg. Let's say there are vampires, but let's also say there are worse things to worry about. No, nothing's worse. And your treatment is the cure, Doctor? There are worse things than vampires in the night. Let me be frank. I don't care much for your solution. All you've done is exchange one phobia for another. I prefer to think of it as diluting the obsession, with an eye toward dispersing it entirely. Think instead about what it is you're setting loose. A man who has shown progress and deserves a second chance. I'm going on record protesting against all of this. You're coming into my institution using some no questions asked dispensation from the governor to do as you please. You know, I'm not even sure what it is you're a doctor of, Strange. For the sake of your sanity, right, Grigg, pray to maintain that ignorance. Introducing a deal that will turn you inside out. It's called Rock Video Monthly. Get 1 VHS video cassette filled with 10 coronary arresting videos. That's 10 subcutaneous cutting-edge bands that you'll fill for a microscopic $2.98. That stays a single-celled $2.98 every month. Happy Mondays, Body Count, never heard of them. Caius, never heard of them. Toriamos, I have heard of them. Aztec Camera, heard of them. Television, nope. Pantera, of course. The Beautiful, nope. Material Issue, nope. Sonic Youth, heck yeah. Where's the rest? My goggles. A set of teak daggers. Yeah, you and Sharp Objects, Blade. That'd be in the public interest. File says that's all there was when they slipped a straitjacket on you. That's all you're walking away with now that some real nuts letting you out. Got a lead on a life, loony? I want to know where to tell them to look when they run your profile on America's Most Wanted. Hey, it's a joke, man. Haha. Landed a free, home of the brave enough to face me again. Thanks for nothing, society. Wariness will serve you well on this most dangerous path, Blade, as you will serve a greater purpose. Bid goodbye to your old life. Good luck in surviving your new one. You've reached the offices of Borderline Investigative Services. No one is here to take your call, as we're all on assignment. But if you leave a message... You've closed down the office, Hannibal? For now. Maybe for good. It was never easy running the firm myself after Frank left, and then Blade went, you know. And with my condition, I don't know if I can keep up the day-to-day. Be honest with you, Doctor, I don't even know if I should be trusting myself dealing with the public at all. Tell me when you first noticed the symptoms. A couple weeks back. It was just after lunch, admiring some local, scenery. Feeling good about the city. Hot dame riding a bike. That's the local scenery. Right before I got reminded city and good don't always go together. EMS was great. They were there in no time. Without them, she wouldn't have had a chance. With them, I hear she's looking into rollerblades. Good for her. Show was over, Doc. Crowd started to go their way, except for me. I couldn't take my eyes off it. Her blood, staining the street. I wanted it staining my teeth, filling my belly. I wanted down on my knees, lips to the roadside, sucking on that tar to leach out every drop of that warm red. I must have stood there for hours, like an addict or something. Would have been hours more if the rain hadn't come to wash it clean. Nothing could make me feel clean after that. I don't know what's happening to me, Doc. Or maybe I do, and that's worse. Perhaps even more so. Consider, you were a vampire at the time the Montesi formula was set in motion to wipe out all your kind. My sorcery spared you destruction due to your willful morality in choosing never to have drunk the blood of the living. But nothing could have been done to redress the physical effects of your initial revenant resurrection at the fangs of Deacon Frost. Those were changes at a cellular level, vampiric cells that again hear the call of the undead now that the Montesi formula has been forcibly relaxed. But I'm not undead. Your magic saw to that. Neither, however, are you technically alive. Frostbite took that from you forever. You exist alone now, Hannibal, an anomaly of nature and the unnatural. A twisted physiology, giving you access to vampiric abilities, even as your human side struggles with the cravings you feel, but don't need, for human blood and flesh. This isn't fair. What do you plan to do for me? Nothing can be done. This is the hand the occult has dealt you. I'm sorry. What are you saying, Strange? Live with it? Well, as you just pointed out, I can't even do that. Get away from me! Justin, just gonna mess you up, Hoyt, has prowled the Boston Commons for years. Mess with me, and I'm just gonna have to mess... Tonight, the tables are turned, in that the modern-day predators suddenly prey. Ugh, what do you... And what's on the hunt is older than time. What do you want with me?
It's Queen Mother Lilith's rebirthday. We're having a dance in her honor.
The Dance of the Dead.
Oh, meat market, you shouldn't have. Your return from the dead called for a celebration, Mama. Death is one thing, my child. Trapped for millennia within the rotting carcass of that Leviathan was quite another. All the more reason to enjoy the good times now that you're back. I made this special. A hide here, someone's skin there. All 9 of the ones who would torment you get some satisfaction by tearing their faces out as you destroy them one by one. It's beautiful, my Lilin, but there's no need to maim your creation. 9 is a mystic number, like the cycle of months evoking a new beginning, like the 9 grains of salt which exorcise evil. Only one needs to fall to break the power of that numerology. The tragic trance overtaking the mate of this Frank Drake affords the opportunity to misuse him and his partners against the Ghost Rider. Such an honor, Mama. I'm tickled pink. Or maybe that's just exposed muscle tissue. And when it's over, dear Meat Market, will you bring your mother his cold skull as a trophy?
Long time, Hannibal, but old habits die hard. Screw rusty old keys, Frankie. I broke in. Somehow I expected no less, Blade. A reunion, is that it? Let's really make it like old times, when you guys leaving again. Don't give me grief about what was, Hannibal. I've got enough now with what is. My wife's, it's some kind of coma. Her doctors don't know what. I need a specialist. I need you to help me contact Strange. And all of a sudden, Lilith in disguise shows up, and she wants to hire them because her husband has fallen into some strange trance-like coma as well. And she knows that only the private investigators at Borderline will be able to help her. This unresponsive state, do you have ideas on how to reverse it?
It's unnatural. Supernatural. I know how that sounds, but it can be undone, yes, by killing those responsible for causing it in the first place.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't know what movies you've been watching, sister, but real-life PIs don't as a rule hire out to kill people.
No, not people. Demons.
Uh-oh. So ultimately, the Nightstalkers decide that they have to get Johnny Blaze and Ghost Rider to meet up with them so they can find out if they're friends or foe. In the chill necropolis of the old granary burying ground, an alliance is forged. And across the sleeping hub, a guerrilla militia begins the grim job of arming itself. Vermin halter their feasting on the refuse left by Quincy Market's daytime hordes, moving en masse in response to a call that no creature of the night can ignore. A command this creature of the night could no longer resist giving. Deep within, inhuman appetites fuel extraordinary abilities. His body turning to mist, Hannibal King prays to anyone who will listen that his soul also not melt away. So then they head to this MIT Media Lab where they get this awesome gun that they nickname Linda, like Linda Blair, because it is the Exorcist. It shoots nanotechnology that works at a cellular level to move atoms and reshape matter. Not so much nanotech, it will be used as necrotech. And our boy Blade, of course, he's ready for action, and so he's upgraded to a couple badass samurai swords that he knows will help win the fight. Blaze and Ghost Rider discover this note daggered to their door, which says to meet at the Old North Church, and they're going to find out, are these friends or foes? And sure enough, there, Hannibal's wife wakes up in the hospital, confused as to what's happened. It turns out it was Dr. Stephen Strange who had put her in a coma and kept her there the whole time so that he could get this alliance together. And here at the church, this is Meat Market, the guy from earlier who hung the human.
They have eyes, but they cannot see me. Thanks to you, Mama dearest. This is gonna be good.
So he's just kind of in spirit form. And because they're in Boston, this setup is great. He's up here in the bell tower. The British are coming! The British are here! And he shoots a flare, one if by land. That flare, for what purpose? Diversion, Ghost Rider, and execution!
Screw Cam!
Well, this is going to be a fight. And they have an awesome fight. And Ghost Rider tries to do the penance stare, and Blade barely blocks it with his samurai sword and shoots it off into the air. Ah! Catch, Blade! You want to talk penance, Rider? Fine. I got absolution for you right here. Go and sin no more. Krakoom! Shoots him with the Necrotech gun, with the Exorcist gun, Linda. Plasma charges act as a suspension medium, carrying Necrotech motors to their target. Microscopic engines kicking into gear to alter the atomic structure of preternatural bone, fusing once flexible joints with prison-like rigidity. Can't move. Let go of the handlebars, you lunatic! You're steering us right into the... No, not us. Later, Johnny boy. And he crashes into the church doors. Enough trying to give you fringe elements the benefit of the doubt. Here's a language you'll listen to. Bratoom, whoosh. I'll charge up the Exorcist. Already got it covered. Go up against Hellfire, you're gonna lose. Ain't Hellfire I'm aiming for. Rune-covered wooden stakes propel out of the set of barrels, plugging another, even as a finger tightens on that weapon's trigger. It's backfire. So they're gonna execute him right here. Blade is about to do it. There's that same stench of the occult as the looker had in the office, but it ain't coming off the bookends here. It should though, if they're the cause. If. There, Frankie, you and Linda, turn some heads. Cocoon.
Don't stop now.
You must have been hiding here the whole time, watching.
Finish the job she hired you for. Kill them.
It knows what it's in on it. We've been set up. The set of legs wasn't so innocent, huh?
Then if you won't fulfill your contract, Mama's destiny, I'll do it for you.
Toast it, Frankie. Before, no need. It's mine. Chop.
Ah, stop that, you little... Stop eating that. Stop eating me.
The rats have been compelled by an outside force to feed.
Mommy.
Others burn with an inner hunger.
Admit it, Strange. You long for the chance to match your sorcery against mine.
I admit nothing, Lilith, save that such headstrong action would serve only to further your ends. A direct collision of power, such as ours, would weaken the dimensional walls even further, and allow you to summon your scattered children of damnation that much easier. Long ago, ordinary men fought for just causes on the deck of the Constitution here, and today it will be ordinary men who combat your evil on my behalf. Your middlemen serve me now, as Pilgrim's Portal will show.
Look, the skull of the ghost. Meat market? My sweet little boy.
You were saying? The somnambulism of Frank Drake's wife was a bait you couldn't resist using, Lilith. Enjoy your catch.
This is only beginning, sorcerer.
I know. And so they decide they're going to team up because the night is no longer safe for your kind. The mystery of Lilith comes to its chilling conclusion in Ghost Rider number 31, even as Nightstalkers number 2 finds Hydra building an army of vampire super soldiers with Hannibal King as their prototype. Revenant season opens in 30 days. So, this is actually a really awesome comic, and it actually makes me want to go pick up the other 5 issues in the Rise of the Midnight Suns crossover and really find out what's going on here. This eyepiece thing is so stupid looking, though. No wonder I laughed at this when I was a kid and thought it was a big joke. Anyway, has this not been an awesome Halloween comic book or what? If you'd be kind enough, please hit that thumbs up if you like this video. Hit that share button and let your friends know about it. If you're new, subscribe. Hit the ding dong for notifications. And thump your way over to megawattcomic.com and support your boy Crypto's venture into publishing his very own comic. I'm coming back tomorrow with not 1, but 2 totally awesome comic book reviews right here on Crypto Comics. I hope you'll join me. See you then.